The car is 20 years old, and things can happen when you have a 20-year-old car, and that's what this video is about. So, supposed to be working on a different video, but as you can see, there's bolts snapped off. There's no bolts here, and I got these short little bolts that look snapped off because they're supposed to be that long. So basically, all these bolts have seized into the strut tower bracket control arm piece. I'll show you one here real quick. This bracket here. So I went ahead and bought new ones that have brand new bushings in them and come with the hardware. These ones are just Dorman ones because they were like $100 some a piece, because the OEM ones are getting harder to find and they're like triple the price. So I already got, set that down there. I already got all the bolts either out or broken out of each side. And I took the bolts off the strut towers, or the coilovers here that go through that mount. Here's that hardware. So I'm hoping I don't have to pull the tires. I should just have to pull the bumper, pull it off. I'll probably throw it on the roof with like a blanket or something, and then I'll jack it up, and hopefully everything just kind of falls down. And the only thing I should still have to pull out is the bolt for the adjustable control arm bushing for the upper, and I should be able to pull it out, swap the control arms over to the new ones, and bolt everything back together. But you know, this just kind of stuff happens when you got an older car. Bolts seize in there, they break. I don't even want to try saving the old ones. I still might hold on to them to see what I can do. But let me get this bumper off. My jack stands ready. Jack here. Under the hook point there. Oh yeah, sinking down. Alright, so now we're on both jack stands. My Harbor Freight jack, after several years, is dying. This piston on this side doesn't come out all the way. Makes it very hard to pump up. Sometimes it sticks. Got to replace that soon. Probably with another Harbor Freight one. So, what do we got here? So you can see the whole top piece is sunk down. I'm hoping, yeah, I'm hoping that I can just take that arm off and somehow get it out. Should be interesting. So I'm just going to have to take this bolt off here and go from there. See what I can get apart. Sounds fun. Hopefully I don't have to take the whole coil out, because that would not be awesome. So I am going to have to take the wheel off so that I can get this down far enough, because the wheel's on the ground now and I'm not going to be able to go anywhere, because got the Moog, took the top off. You know, it's kind of like an eccentric sort of shaft, so you got camber and caster adjustment, and that's the top of it. So it's loose, but it's still in the spring, so I'm definitely gonna have to pop this wheel off to pull it down far enough to swap it out. I was hoping not to do that, but I can't get the car up high enough with the broken Harbor Freight jack. So took the wheel off, so I'm hoping I don't have to take both off at the same time, but if I do, I should hopefully, oh yeah, didn't want to do that much, but got a lot more room in here. Hopefully you can see. I'm trying to hold a light. All this at the same time. So I'm going to need two hands probably to get this out. But as soon as I do, I'm going to show you. Made some progress. Let's see if you can see in here. I had to take the bolt out of the lower, wishbone of the coilover to drop it down. I also tried lowering the coilover. Finally got the whole thing out. But something interesting here is that, as you can see, that's aluminum. The new one is metal. I was wondering why these things are so heavy. And that's because they're cast metal. Definitely a lot heavier. Not too happy about that because these are super light. But it is what it is. I will probably soak these bolts down with some PB Blaster. I don't know if I can salvage the aluminum ones at all, but those ones are going to go in. So, got the upper control arm off. It's not in too bad a shape. A tiny little bit of surface rust. I might just hit it with some paint and throw it back together. And here are the mounts on the old, strut mount. The one side, it started to rust pretty good. I mean, there's some dry rotting on, just this one mostly. But that doesn't really look centered anymore versus the new, which looks nice and centered. So I'm going to go ahead and reassemble it, mount this part back in the car first, and go from there. I guess the benefit over cast, like steel over aluminum, would be the bolts are not dissimilar. They won't, want to corrode to each other. So the new bolts that came with this that are steel are going into a steel housing, which in theory I guess would be stronger. This probably weighs about 4 pounds, and this is probably about 1 or 2. I'm not going to weigh them. It's not moving weight. Yes, I'm adding some weight back to the car, but the only other option is, I could replace with one of these like 5 times over versus one of these. I think these OEM ones are pretty expensive, and everyone says that the threads always get chewed out of them. So, yeah. Still the same casting, just different metal. So, back together they go. There it is. Reassembled. Just gotta grab the new bolts and pop it back up in the tower here. There we go. New one is bolted up in there. I gotta get the coilover back in, adjust it. I probably won't have to adjust the other one now that I know just to take out the bottom bolt of the wishbone. And then I'll get the knuckle back in and readjust the camber and get the wheel back on. So we're getting there. There's our hole for the top. All the bolts are in. So coming along. So I got bolt back down here. Everything's bolted up except the this camber bushing. So now I just have to wind this coil over. Oh, not that one. We gotta take this one here and wind this whole body up so that it is at the same ride height as the passenger, and then I will remember not to mess with that on that side, just to take this bolt out. There we have it. All put back together, camber adjusted, ride height set, all that stuff. Alright, so that's basically it. I'm tired. It's cold out. even though it's April. And that's one side done. Just gotta do the same on the other side. Stuff's already broken, so I already know what's gonna happen. Other stuff's gonna come off the same way. Put it all back together, set the height, set the camber, put the car back on the ground. So that is the fun stuff of owning a 20-year-old car. So keep that in mind, especially with stuff like aluminum and steel. It'll go together oddly. And next video, new strut bar going on. So I'm gonna keep working. Like and subscribe this video. See you guys next time.